Hey, what's going on guys? Alex here with TFL Bike. A few weeks ago we did a video on these Apple AirTags and we were trying to find out if you could use this pretty affordable device to track down a stolen motorcycle. And what we found out in that video is that they sort of work. I was able to kind of track down my bike, but it wasn't super reliable. It's better than nothing, but if my bike was actually stolen, I probably would have been a little frustrated trying to use just this. So, a company called Monimoto reached out to us and sent us this, their GPS-based tracker for vehicles, and we're gonna be using it on this Honda Gram today to see if it's any different than the AirTag, see if it's any better, and see if it's worth the money. As you can see, it runs off of LTE, so it does use a cellular connection and GPS, works with Android and iOS devices right there. There is a pretty big price difference between this and the AirTags. The AirTags are right around $30 for one, or you can get a 4-pack for $100. And this is a $200 device right here. So hopefully the you get what you pay for mantra is accurate here, because I'm hoping this actually works. So here's the actual unit that goes on the bike itself. On the back here, there's a little door. It is powered by 2 AA batteries, which are included. Off these 2 AA batteries, they say you can get about a year of use before you need to replace the battery, and that's pretty much the same as the AirTag here, which runs off of pretty much a car key battery, and again, the AirTag battery will also last a year. Also included in the box is a little key fob. So you're going to throw this on your keys, and basically when these two get separated, that's when it's going to send you a notification when this detects movement. So the idea is when you have this on your keys, you start the bike and right away it won't do anything, but the second the bike moves without the key fob, then you start getting notifications. So let's go through the setup process and see how it works. All right, so I've got the app downloaded on my phone here. Let's go through the setup process. So it gives me a few options to log in. I will use my Apple account.
What are you doing there, Alex?
I don't want a mess up. I've never messed up putting anyone's phone number in a TFL video.
You don't want to show your phone number?
No.
I bet there's a lot of pretty girls watching these videos.
Are there?
No.
All right, so it tells you to pull off the back cover, pull the battery tab out. I already did that, so we'll go ahead and hit next. Then it wants us to select the key fob we have. Mine looks like this on the left. Plastic strip already removed, yep. So we're gonna hit next. Place both of these very close to your phone, and we'll hit scan. And as you can see, it found it pretty quickly. The serial number matches, so we'll hit next. And now we'll name our vehicle, Honda Gram. Choose profile, motorcycle or car. We're clearly on a motorcycle. And then it's going to use my phone number to send me an SMS in the following cases: when I register a new device, when my SIM card is deactivated, or when support team agree to that. Firmware update is available. We want to give this the best shot, so we'll go ahead and update, make sure we're on the latest software. All right, and it says success. Your Monimoto is up and running. You can now hide it on your vehicle. And right when that happened, I actually got a text message from Monimoto that says, "I'm your Monimoto. Please save this number to your phone book. I will call you when the alarm occurs." And I like that it comes from the same number every time. So, you know, these days you get so many spammy phone calls and texts. Most of the time when I get a text from an unknown number, I tend to ignore it. So the fact that you can save this number into your phone, and then when they text you, you know exactly what it's about, that's pretty cool. So there's a few different things you can do in this app here. You can add more devices. So if you have multiple motorcycles like I do, and this device ends up working well, you can get more of them. It'll show you your key fobs, battery status, whether or not the device is ready. It also keeps a log of all the different events that have occurred. So we'll hopefully see that start to fill up. Right now it just says welcome. All right, now time to hide this Monimoto GPS tracker, and this is one of the obvious downsides with this when you compare it to an AirTag is the size, right? So let's look at these two devices side by side. This AirTag is way smaller and you could really conceal it in a lot more places. So, you know, you could stash it in a toolkit, you could really shove it up here into the tank. With this, you have less options. So I think the easiest thing would be to just kind of throw it in here and probably zip tie it down. Luckily, it is black plastic and doesn't say like GPS tracker or anything on it. So, you know, someone who doesn't know a ton about bikes might think that's like an ECU or part of the bike actually. So not too terrible, but definitely going to be easier to conceal an AirTag. We also want to test out how this works compared to an AirTag. So once we locate the bike, hopefully with the Monimoto tracker, we'll then pop into the AirTag app and see if we can produce the same results. We're not going to do a full in-depth test of this because we've already done that, but once we locate the bike with the Monimoto, we'll see what AirTag is telling us.
Now Alex is not a very good motorcycle thief, so I'm going to let him use the key on the Grom, and I'm going to hold on to the fob that would normally be attached to the key, because I want to test out the notification feature.
I could be a good motorcycle thief.
Yeah, but you're not.
Could be, you don't know. Also, I wanted to give a big thanks to Monimoto for making this video possible. They sent this GPS tracker out to us for this review, so thank you to them, but at the same time, they're not requiring us to say anything good about this product, so if it's bad, we're gonna let you know.
Now, here's the situation. I'm having a nice sit on a park bench with my key fob and my phone, and unbeknownst to me, some sketchy person is trying to steal my bike right now.
All right, we are off on the new Grom. So like I mentioned, we already did this video with the AirTags and my monkey, and it sort of worked. It took me a long time, and the results kind of came in a little too late. Every time Case would move, I would get an update like 10 minutes later. So it's not ideal. It can get you close to where your bike is, but we're hoping this is a little more pinpoint exact. Now there are, besides the size differences between this and the AirTag, there's also the price, which we talked about. But there are some advantages with the AirTag. Like I said, it's easier to conceal. It's also a little more waterproof than this Monimoto device. The AirTags have an IP67 rating, whereas this has an IP65 rating. And all that means is that the AirTag can take on a little more water than this can, but this can still take a pretty healthy splash. And we're not reviewing a jet ski tracker today. These are going on motorcycles. The other big difference is that this is a true GPS tracker that uses cellular connectivity. It has its own cellular connection, whereas the AirTags rely on other Apple devices passing by them to update their location. They don't actually have a GPS or cellular chip inside of them.
Oh, look at that. So here is a notification. Alex pulled away just about 1 minute ago, and already I'm getting a call. So now that I know that the bike has been stolen, let's go track it. Here on the app, I can see a notification that says alarm. So if I click on it, it brings me to this menu that shows that we've had some kind of incident. So if I go to live tracking, I can see the Grom's location as of 12:24, which is about 1 minute ago. And he's on this little side road. So let me start moving and see if I can catch up to him.
All right, let's pull in here. The cool spot, Rayback Collective, where they have like food trucks and beer and whatnot. So, yeah, it's a good spot to hang out for a minute. Why not? We'll tuck it right here so it's not visible from the road behind this wall. And, get in touch with Case. Call Alex Lightman on speakerphone. Case and I switched phones because I set the app up on mine, so I'm not actually calling myself, I'm calling Case.
Oh, here we go. So I'm getting moving and Alex is giving me a call. Hey there, bud. Stolen any motorcycles recently?
Yeah, I've got a pretty new yellow Honda Grom in my possession right now.
Oh, good for you. Would that Honda Grom happen to be on the intersection of Harrison and Hancock Drive?
That's a great question. Let me look at a map.
Nope. I am, I'm about an 11-minute drive from there, according to this.
I love the ground. That's what I was trying to say, my bad.
Thank you, you're good.
So right now, what the app is telling me is that it doesn't have a GPS signal yet and that you're moving, so it can approximate your location.
Okay, well, I'm gonna stay stationary for a little bit then, and see if this thing will get a better signal if I just kind of stay still for a few minutes.
As you hang out in your location, I'm gonna start moving towards where the app is telling me you are.
All right, well, good luck finding this bike, and hopefully I won't see you soon. Looking at the map here, that's pretty far from where we just came from. We drove down this road right here, so it thinks we're way further south. We never even brought the GPS down to that area. So a little interesting that it's showing us it was down there, because I never rode anywhere close to there. So walk around the corner, see if I can grab some lunch. Oh, I'm gonna get some tacos, and we'll see if Case can find us.
Aha! So now the app is saying GPS coordinates available, and it's only been about 6 minutes since the bike left the office. So I'm gonna go ahead and click GPS, and there I can see exactly where he is. Oh, he's over by Rayback Collective, of course. If I can find him within 10 minutes, that's gonna be a pretty impressive figure. So it did take it a second to get a GPS signal going, but now that I have the signal, I know exactly where he is. So let me pull into this lot and see if I see a bright yellow motorcycle. It should not be that hard to find. My app is telling me I'm right on top of him. Does that look familiar to anybody? Haha! I guess he stopped to get a snack. And just like that, I have my bike back within 10 minutes.
Well, that was quick.
Seen any motorcycle thieves recently?
That was super quick. I didn't even get my food yet.
So that was within 10 minutes.
Yeah. Wow. Let's see what the AirTag says. Does it show you it's here too?
Let's see.
It does show it's here, but there's a lot of phones around here right now.
Yeah, so we're in a pretty populated spot, which is why the AirTag is working as well. But in the last video that we did, it was pretty spotty. There were times that the AirTag knew where the bike was, and there were times when it was in a remote enough location that the AirTag was not able to update.
Look at that.
Oh, wow.
I didn't even have time to eat. The Monimoto was so fast. So I'm gonna chow this down, and then I think I'll go ride around and stay moving, and we'll see what happens when I'm actually riding.
All right, so now we're gonna try something a little bit different. Alex is going to steal the bike, and then he's gonna keep moving.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna see if I can track him live enough that I can catch up to him while he's continuing to ride.
Yeah, I'm on a pretty slow bike. I'm gonna ride pretty tame too, so that Case has a good chance of actually catching up with me. So I'm just gonna putt around town, because I won't know what he's up to since I don't have like a way to answer phone calls in this particular helmet. So yeah, I'll just cruise around, and Case will let you know how it's going. Just by that first result alone of Case finding me so quickly, I do think I'm going to use one of these on my personal bike, at least my R6.
Because I pulled up with a key fob, the tracker saw the key and went out of its alarm mode. Now it's back in its alarm mode. So once it finds a GPS signal again, then I can get on the road and start tracking him.
No truck behind me yet. Nowhere in sight. He's in a black GMC 1500 right now. Big shiny truck, should be not that hard to spot.
Taking a look at the AirTag, this location has also not moved since he took off. And we should be getting a signal from the Monimoto tracker in just a moment. So what this does is when it finds the key fob, it goes into a sleep mode in order to conserve battery, but once it sees movement without the key fob, then it goes into its alarm setting like what it is right now, and it'll start looking for a GPS signal, which is what it's doing. I'm rolling by his last location update. Now let me pull up the Find My app that's looking at the AirTag now that I've come to a stop, and you can see this has not updated since we stopped. So that was going on 10 minutes ago that the AirTag left the last location that it was at, and that's still where this app is showing me it is. So I'm getting continuous updates from the Monimoto so that I can actually follow Alex's general location, whereas the AirTag is a lot slower to update.
Thanks. It's 125. Yeah.
Thank
It's real good on gas. I stole it. I stole it, yeah. I stole it from an office down the street. Yeah. Oh, I see a black truck back there. All the way in the back. It's too far away for me to tell if it's a GMC, but definitely looks like it could be. Let's take a little detour here, get off the main road somewhat quickly. Hopefully he doesn't see us. Is that him? No, that's not him. That was a black GMC though. I think that was the truck I saw earlier. All right, we're on the CU campus right now. Let's pull into this little motorcycle lot. Check out the bikes. We've got a Scout, little scooter, Z900. I like those old retro looking Z900 bikes, the inline 4. They're pretty cool.
Oh, here we go. He's over by the planetarium on campus. So I am heading in the right direction.
Hey, bud.
Are you over by the planetarium?
I am not by the planetarium. I am on campus, though.
I am on my way to where you are. Do you see a lot number for what lot you're in?
Yes.
Is it 204?
No, it is not.
How about you, you stick where you're at, and I will come meet up with you.
Okay, sounds good. So I forget exactly what lot he said. I think he said 204 or 202. We're in 232 right now. So if we look at a map right here, this is where we are, right on campus in this motorcycle lot off Broadway. And he thought we were at the planetarium, which is right here. You can see Fisk Planetarium right there. And it's about a 4-minute drive, half a mile away. So pretty close, but definitely not within sight lines. You'd have to walk around quite a bit if that's as close as it could get you. So I'm gonna hang out here for a little longer and see if he can make it to my exact location once I came to a stop.
What do I see in a motorcycle lot? It's a particular bike I'm looking for.
While I'm moving, looks like it's a little hard to find me, but the second I come to a stop, he's here within minutes. So I guess if you're trying to steal a bike with one of these, just keep riding it around, but that's pretty impressive. He gets here quick.
Yeah, riding around endlessly is not really a practical solution because
No.
you have to stop at some point.
Especially in these little bikes. They only hold like
1 gallon.
1 gallon of gas, so
Yep.
you're not gonna make it too far.
No. So there we go. I have my bike back. While the bike is moving, you're not getting a live update of the location. It's not like you can see a dot moving along on the map. What you get are all of these updates. So you can see just about every minute it's sending you a new location, and that is a lot quicker than how the AirTag was working, because for about half of my drive to follow Alex to this spot we're in now, the AirTag still showed its location as being where we had stopped before we got moving again. So the Monimoto can keep you in that same general area as your bike even while it's moving, and then as soon as it stops, it takes a matter of 5 minutes at the most to catch up to actually where it is. And that's for obvious reason, because this Monimoto is designed to be a motorcycle tracker to begin with. The AirTag is meant, you know, for a lot of things, but for a lot of people to find your keys, something like that. And there's a feature on the Apple AirTag where if you have an iPhone and there's an AirTag registered to somebody else that's following you around, then your phone will alert you that somebody else's AirTag is following you, which means if somebody stole your bike and it had an AirTag on it, their phone might notify them to say, hey, there's an AirTag on this bike that someone's tracking, and they can make it make a sound so they can find it. This Monimoto, unless you go pulling apart the bike for really no reason, you're not gonna figure out that this tracker is in here until the person who is tracking has found it. So it's a much better solution for actually finding your bike. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. If you're interested in the Monimoto tracker, they're $199 and they work pretty effectively like we showed. So go check out their website. It's the Monimoto 7, and we'll see you guys in the next video.